Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I am psyched to be pushing myself back into Plat's level gameplay again in the arena. It's one of the things I used to enjoy the most in Raid, and I've slipped out of the kind of groove of doing it. I fell out of love with it, mainly because of the cheaters in the game. They've gone. Now we can get back on board. Now, I'm a little bit rusty, so I've decided to enlist a professional. Someone who won Plat last week, WANT2MESS, coming into my stream, and this is going to be the highlights of how we decide what teams I'm going to build, how we decide who they're going to counter, and yeah, and then we take it for a test run. So hopefully you enjoy it, guys. Let's get into it. Okay, cool. So look, guys, WANT2MESS joining us for the stream today. Professional Plat arena player. We've got the winner from the arena last week. He's going to help me with some strategy, with some team selection. So, buddy, look, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself to the stream? You know, how long have you been doing streaming for those that don't know you? How long have you been playing the game for? That type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm WANT2MESS, everybody. I've been playing the game for a little bit less than 2 years. I started a chunk before the Foley fusion, which if I remember correctly, it's oh gosh, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I completed the Foley fusion, loved the game. I've been streaming for about 8 months now on Twitch. I personally, I think I'm doing pretty well streaming, and I just recently, just this past week, put out my first YouTube video. You guys can see my my channel right next to my face here. I uploaded my sort of like the last 15 minutes of my push to get first place in Platinum Arena. And then I went over the champions that I use and their stats, etc. So, really excited to be here. Really happy to help out Hell Hades. We've been talking over the past week, working on champions, working on builds, etc. And honestly, I'm really excited to finally test some stuff out today. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, firstly, yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for some of the advice already so far. How active are you in the kind of arena scene? I know obviously you won last week, but is it kind of like a weekly thing for you to push for arena a reset?
oh yeah, I push every single week. Every Sunday I'm up. I usually stream it. Like sometimes if I just did a long stream on Sunday, like 8+ hours, sometimes I don't stream the actual reset. But I've been pushing Platinum reset every single week for about 6 months. I think there's only been 1 week where I didn't push because I was feeling really sick that day.
Sure.
Very consistently top 20. I've had a couple of weeks, a very small handful of weeks where I used a wrong defense or a bad defense or something, and I placed lower than that. But again, not to brag or anything, but very consistently in the top 20, I would say.
Yeah, nice. Well, I know. So I used to push Plat on a weekly basis, and I'd say I was normally like a top. I normally would come around 50 to 75 when I was doing it beforehand. So I've kind of got some experience, but we are talking. I reckon I'd probably not push Plat in. It's got to be at least 3 months.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But maybe more. Maybe more.
Honestly, the defense meta is going to be probably a lot different than what you're used to. I mean, the champion's probably the same, but I feel like, especially in the past 3 months, Swift Parry has really come into the defense meta. Everybody's using Swift Parry. Everybody's using, if they have it, you know, Hegemon, the top Void legendaries. Yeah, it's going to be that's what we built our teams sort of to beat/counter. But
Sure.
you're going to see a lot of Swift Parry. So.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get into. So we've got a couple of builds to finish, and I think it'd be quite cool to run through the current offensive teams that we've got in mind, just for the stream, really. So to kind of catch them up in terms of what we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess it would be also pretty cool to talk about what type of teams we would expect them to counter.
Okay.
Yeah, so because ultimately, I think, and I mentioned it on a video I put out today, actually. When you get to this sort of position in the game, everybody in your roster should be a specialist, and they should be able to have their own sort of role and their own build to fulfill that role to its kind of fullest, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And what this has made me realize, and I already kind of knew it, it was one of the reasons why I was kind of putting off doing the pushes again, is that my gear is pretty strong for the first wave of builds. But then when you start to get down to the kind of like, you know, 8th, 9th, 10th build, it's like I am pushing my builds to the limit. basically. And I'm pushing my gear to the limit to try and get some of this stuff away, which is really interesting. It kind of, even for someone who's been playing the game as long as I have, which sounds like a similar amount of time to you.
Yeah, there's a pretty severe drop off once you like my absolute #1 best build in Savage, and then my second best. There's a very big difference in the quality. It's so difficult to get those true end game perfect pieces. So it's
I feel like all I do is farm finites. If I'm burning energy, I'm farming finites, and my Savage gear is just lacking. Like, it really feels poor compared to what I see others building. So we've got Sifi into Arb into Madame, and I've managed to pull out a 230 speed, 716 accuracy Madame.
Yeah, she's looking good.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? How does that compare to, like a top 50 player right now, do you think?
Top 50? I'd say that if you're talking top 50, the average player in there could probably push about 750 with maintaining similar speed to you. I'm trying to remember the exact pieces. I think we took some of the better pieces for the immunity people, which, pushes this down a little bit. I think that this is enough to push into the lower tiers of platinum, but you might struggle a little bit pushing into, as you said, top 50 or for sure top 20.
Yeah. So just out of interest then, so are most people just pulling like triple rolls across the board? Because it feels like I'm high rolling at least double rolls everywhere.
It's usually a mix of good triple rolls or like perfect double rolls. So for example, my Madam is 780. I have a triple weapon. I have a double helmet and shield. I have a 5-star triple glove, and then my boots are actually only one roll, one accuracy roll. But then my amulet's a triple, and then that plus 12, 14, 16 on every single accuracy glyph roll. That, and then the proper, good masteries that leads up to, and then I'm in I'm in 2 sets of perception, 1 set of accuracy, just like you, or you're in, 1 perception. That's a really important part. So I think it's probably just a big difference in glyphs, and then maybe 1 or 2 pieces that are making the difference.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to when I was running around 350 speed. It was Arbiter at the time, but everything had a glyph on it, but it was all kind of like a 3. And when you start to pull in 6, 7, 8s without even changing your gear, just by changing your glyphs, it's a huge upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. Like your gloves right there are very good in my opinion. But if you're rocking a +6, that can go up to potentially +16. So that's 10 accuracy potentially right there. So
yeah. Okay, and then we're going to go into Ethos, which we've not built yet, so we can do that in a sec. And then the second team, again, just to kind of catch people up, which we're going to be doing is Kymar lead. This is an immunity team.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling we're going to be using this immunity team an awful lot. The Kymar turned out really well. Looks like did you change him a little bit since we last looked at him?
Yeah, I ran some just some mock defenses really, or some mock attacks, and I got one shot a couple of times. So I put a bit more defense into his build.
Okay.
So I think I actually swapped in.
You got one shot by a Hegemon, or you got one shot by
a Hegi.
Really? Okay.
Which was quite worrying. So I think I just made a few tweaks, but yeah, basically we got up to 295 speed, 407 accuracy.
I mean, he has good health, good defense. He's looking good. I'm a bit surprised that he got one shot from before, but we'll test some stuff out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So Kymar, and just interested again in terms of strategy here. If Kymar goes first, I assume generally what you do is just try and sleep the enemy.
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. We're in an A2. It will hopefully strip some of the team. I mean, ideally it would be everybody, and then put them to sleep. So with everybody asleep, that's going to allow the rest of our team, which is going to be Definitely not speed tuned, a little bit slower. Our Madam is going to strip people, and then our Foley will kill people. So
Yeah,
we're running Foley a little bit slow because we're just missing those speed glyphs, but I think it'll work. I think it'll work for now.
sure. So we've got Morley in full HP, as much HP really as I can get on her for the build. 101k. I managed to get a little bit of accuracy into a build just from changing a few bits around, but not at the cost of any HP. So we've got 188 accuracy, which might just mean that I guess it might do something if she gets a turn. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not a bad build.
Yeah, she might be able to land her provoke on a damage dealer or somebody. And then I like that she has a little bit of speed, you know, just in case something goes wrong. She might be able to revive.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, ultimately for people on stream, the main reason you take a Morley is for a passive, so that when she takes a hit from a Hedgie or from anyone else that's going first, it will mean that you'll get some extra turn meter. So that Kaimar, although he's in immunity gear, running at 295, he's going to get a Kickstarter from Morley to kind of pick his speed up.
If my quick maths are correct, with the Molly boost and with his speed aura, we should be rocking about 374 speed on him, technically, after getting hit by Hegemon. So
right, okay.
Yeah. There might be a small handful of people who run a CP faster than that in their defense, but it shouldn't be very many.
Good. Okay, so that's 2. Then we go into an immunity Madame. So Madame does have some of my better perception gear because I needed to pick the speed and the accuracy up here. So we got, 233 speed, 619 accuracy.
Yeah, looking pretty good for immunity. I would say to give you that comparison from before, maybe like a top 50 would probably be pushing about 650 here. And then top 20 is probably high 600s. I don't think I've seen anybody quite over 700 in immunity, but I'm sure it can be done. Or excuse me, over 700 while maintaining a decent speed.
Yeah. And 233. So if Kaimar is sleeping, then I guess 233 is absolutely fine. You might get somebody that doesn't get slept, maybe 1 or 2 even that don't get slept, but she should still get a turn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is like literally the most standard offense used in Platinum, right? Or at least in high level Platinum right now.
Yeah. And then lastly, Foley comes into this team. So Foley's going to be the nuker here. So we've got 191 speed, which is kind of a concern right now. 191, 6k attack, 250 crit dam.
Yeah.
So what do you think here? Do I need to change it up?
He's a bit slow. We talked about this. He's missing speed glyphs on a couple of pieces. I think we just need to test him out a bit. I think we need to get in there, do some fights, see how he's doing. His defense is good. His health is a little bit on the low side, but it's tough when you're comparing to Trunda because she has such an incredible base health.
Yeah.
But honestly, for the attack and crit damage for immunity, I'm very happy with it. We just need to. It'll just have to be getting the speed up over time with some extra glyphs. But I think for now, I think we'll be okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's team 2. I guess let's get into the Ethos build, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is an interesting one for me. I talked about this beforehand when I was considering going for a Plat run, probably 2 weeks ago, and I was looking at options that I had, which are Foley, Ethos, Candrathon, Ray, and Abyss. On that stream, I actually built out my best, thinking that I had this golden bullet that no one had really thought about. Turns out she hit like an absolute noodle and didn't do anything. But I thought use your opponent's stats to boost your stats. So all you need to really do is boost your crit rate and crit damage.
Right. Using her for the A3. I think.
Yeah.
Abyss is good, and she does hit pretty hard, but she's really like a specific counter to Seeker teams. You really need the enemy team to have increased defense for like a build like that to work. If you go Savage and you say I don't need attack, I don't need anything, just Savage and crit damage. The enemy team really needs that increased defense for you to actually hit hard. So
sure.
If you were just trying to hit like normal teams, you probably weren't seeing very good results. And I'd say Seeker came into the meta really strong, and then he's kind of fallen out a bit recently. So I would say Abyss shouldn't be super high priority to build, but she can work specifically if you know you're going to fight Seeker.
Yeah, yeah. But in the end, so and when I've looked at multipliers and stuff, it does feel like obviously you've got Trunda's absolute top tier, quite a way above everyone else.
Yeah.
And then you've got the rest of these guys, Candrathon, Ethos, Ray, kind of all hit for, on paper anyway, hit for a similar number. So interested to know why Ethos is your favorite out of those. Is it just affinity?
It's the mixture of affinity plus he has two AoE abilities. So I understand Ray also has multiple AoE abilities, but I like the fact that he has the option to do one really big hit, and then he also has the 3-hit A2. Personally, I have an Ethos myself. I want to try to use him instead of Trunda for one reset.
Right.
Due to people are running a lot of Force teams recently, like using Mountain King a lot. So if your Trunda, depending on what happens, if your Trunda weak hits, suddenly Mountain King kills your Trunda, you have to revive, wasting time, etc. So that's why I'm a big fan of Ethos. Okay, build Ethos. We were gonna check Foley, and then
actually you wanted to check Duchess.
I think
yeah.
I think we were gonna do defense stuff off stream.
After. Yeah, cool. Okay. So who else do we have for offense? Sorry.
Offense, it was just I think we just need to check Foley because I thought he had some stuff that wasn't fully. Well, I guess we just used our speed glyphs, but it's just
Yeah, so
I would just say make sure everything is, you know, all of his attack percentages are glyphed, etc. I thought we left him not fully glyphed the other day.
yeah, it might just be speed that we're struggling with. And
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, because we can't get that speed through glyphs today, should we
still run it? Yes, absolutely.
still run it the same way? Should we look for something speed here, for example, or are we still good?
No, I wouldn't mess with this build right now.
Okay, cool.
It is 191 is definitely on the slower end. But since we have, if you were running like only Arbiter for your immunity team, I would say we probably can't do it right now. But since we have Kymar with that really, really strong sleep, I think we're okay.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I think that might be it then. Let's
yeah, did we want to try and pull Alessandra or Cethalia build out, or do you think that's not needed right now?
Is Cethalia in like usable gear, or is she not wearing anything?
She's just literally back. No, she's not even built.
Oh, geez. Okay. Let's get Cethalia. She needs to be at least 246 speed with good accuracy.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it used to be pretty much just all based around speed. Like whoever was fastest would win, but it feels way more tactical nowadays because the defenses aren't all based on speed. A lot of them are just built around delay fights, aren't they?
Yeah, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, back to when Platinum was introduced, there's been a massive change in the overall meta. Speed has, like I said, speed is still important, and it's still good to have fast champions, but it's a lot more important to have, I'd argue, immunity gear if you're trying to finish Platinum rather than just raw speed.
Yeah.
Will you be attacking Hell Hades tomorrow? If he shows up for me, if I think I can. The defense that we have talked about is something that I personally don't hit. So probably not. And not just because I'm helping him right now.
Explain the difference around gaining points now. So they made some changes so that people couldn't cheat, right?
Yeah, they made some changes. So what happens now is if you attack somebody and you lose to their defense for 5 minutes, if you attack them again and win, they do not lose any additional points. You will still gain points, so you are still, if you find somebody that you lose to them once, and then you figure out their defense and you can farm them quickly, arguably it's still beneficial for you to try to seek them out and hit them if all you are caring about is just your point gain and not caring about not reducing their points. But
Okay.
it makes it gives benefit to having a good defense that can win.
Sure. So if someone continuously hits me over and over, they're still gaining points, but I'm not losing points to the same person beating me.
Only if they lose to you. If they hit you and they win, they will continue to reduce your points. If they hit you once, lose to you, and then adjust their offense and start winning for 5 minutes, you will not lose any points for those wins.
Okay, that's interesting. And does that feel like it's been quite a good fix?
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if funny is the right word, but it's kind of annoying because the people who were boosting had pretty much stopped boosting for a week or two, maybe 3, and then they implemented this fix. And I don't know if they just haven't tried again, but to our knowledge, boosting is permanently fixed now.
That's cool. That's good. So I'm sitting at 550 accuracy here. What sort of numbers work? I can't remember what you said on accuracy. Were you a bit low?
So you've got the no, I think that's fine, honestly. And that's with a couple of pieces. I would just pop some glyphs in, just some smaller accuracy glyphs, and you'll be good. Personally, I run my Cythalia at just a touch over 600, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So when would you be running Cythalia versus Madame? How do you kind of make that decision?
I was Cythalia instead of Madame. You're gonna want to run her. I was saying just for climbing up against enemy speed teams. And I use Madame, or excuse me, Cythalia against enemy Sifi teams. So I run Arbiter, and then Cythalia, Valkyrie, and then my damage dealer. So against the teams that you'll be fighting, you might be able to pull off Madam instead of Cythalia. It'll kind of depend. We'll have to test it a bit and see how it goes, because Trunda can nuke if the team has like no shields. Trunda can nuke fine without defense down.
Yeah, sure.
Ethos, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty confident. I think we have a good build. I think that for like the level of teams that we'll be fighting, pushing up into high gold 4 into low platinum, I think that it will work. But that's something we'll just have to test and see.
Okay. Well, should we go for some runs?
All right, let's do it.
In terms of like you doing this fast on a plat reset, how do you know which Madame to pick and that sort of stuff? Are you just
you definitely, this is something that we're gonna do. You put all of your immunity champions in the vault, and that way, that's how you tell. So let's do Cythalia instead of Madam, because we're not speed tuned.
Yeah.
And then this team, we can already tell this team's not really going to give us any troubles. So
yeah.
And you can just honestly let this run on full auto.
You wish that Arbiter would
A2 on auto, yeah.
A2, yeah. Because I guess well, obviously I wouldn't be doing this if I'm in the actual platform.
Yeah, no, if you were actually pushing, you would take it off of auto and make sure that you A2 there. And for this one, so just so you know, Ethos's A3 actually hits, I wouldn't say significantly harder than his A2, but a fair bit harder. So against teams that like don't have a Rotos or anything like that, I would use the A3 on auto, or I would take him off of auto and use the A3 against a more threatening team like this one.
Yeah. Is that her A2 that does the no?
Yeah, yep. Her A2 does do some turn meter boosting, but the A3 is better for us. So
it's interesting. We're still not one shot in there, whereas a Trunda easily would one shot, wouldn't she?
The Coronar, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Ethos is A3 about 10% more than his A2. Stuff saying there. So, talk to us about Valk teams on reset. How do you approach these?
So Valkyrie teams, personally, I just hit right into them. I have I have my Trunda and my Madam. Oh, I would have used Madam, but
Oh, sorry, yeah, of course.
I have my Trunda and my Madam speed tuned with each other. And personally, what I would have done here for your team is I would, since there's no torment or anything like that, I would just sleep the Arbiter, and then I would go and take my turn.
And would you A4?
If we had Madam, you could maybe try it, but without the decreased defense, we're definitely going to need the increased attack on Ethos.
Yeah.
So with the Duchess without defense down, we're probably not going to one shot this entire. We're definitely not going to, but let's give it a shot, see what happens.
It's actually kind of close.
I'm kind of surprised that the Duchess died. So now here I would just sleep the Arbiter and then and keep cleaning up.
Yeah, the Sifi sleep's just a bit ridiculous, isn't that?
Yep. I have an entire emote dedicated to using her as a crutch, so.
Yeah.
That still wasn't too bad, though.
Hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. Sleep strip A3, and then I mean, this we saw the pretty low power on this team, so I was expecting something like that to happen.
Yeah.
We'll see once we get a bit higher up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So for this team, interesting. Looks like they're decently fast. I would
So where
let's just try to run it full auto, or like mostly full auto, and just see how it goes with the turn meter cutting us. Oh, that actually worked out really well for us.
Yeah.
We actually crit Seeker and procced his passive. And so now here, so we actually didn't kill Duchess, or like quote unquote kill her and proc Swift Parry, but this is a really good example of why I kind of like Ethos. He just has, when we're not running a Kymar, he just has two proper AoE abilities. So you do one, you do the other. Now to start off, I would have taken him on auto and A3'd, but this time the A2 still worked out. I would definitely A1 Candrafon here. He has more turn meter than our Ethos, and we don't want him to take a turn.
Is he immune to sleep?
Nope,
Why does Sifi not sleep in there?
I believe he procced a mastery. It didn't look like you did enough damage for it, but this person could have possibly put his Candrafon in deflection gear. Otherwise, it was a mastery. I would say the chances of deflection is pretty low, but it didn't really look like you did enough damage for the mastery to proc, but who really knows?
Yeah. Sometimes I see things and I'm like, I don't know what I've just seen.
Yeah, exactly.
I played the game for a long time and I still don't know what I've just seen there. Accessories, yeah, it could be, I suppose.
Actually, no, because the candy didn't take a turn. The cleansing accessory happens on your turn.
No, that's true, yeah.
So yeah, once again, this team, I would just run it in.
Yeah, it's interesting. We do get cut a fair amount, but actually it's not really at the detriment to us.
Yep, and that's why it was so important that I had you check our resistance. Now, of course, the higher you can push your Madam's resistance in comparison to your damage dealer, the better, so that we don't end up with Ethos taking a turn. But it shouldn't happen frequently to you, is what I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully everyone in the streams learned some new stuff as well. I certainly have. And yeah, I absolutely appreciate you coming on and doing this. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I am. Honestly, I'm super excited for you to push tonight. I will be probably also streaming myself, otherwise just busy pushing, so I won't be able to
Cool.
watch. But I wish you all the best of luck, okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, sounds good. So there you have it. We've got 2 really strong teams ready for a Plat reset, ready to go this week. First time I'm going for Plat again in maybe 4 or 5 months. So wish me luck. Let's go.